Yo, what up YouTube? It's your boy AM coming to you with another video where I'm going to take apart my Elite controller so I can fix it. As you can tell right here, the bumper on the left hand side has broke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it, which I ordered a new part off of Amazon, so it just came in the mail. And so what this bumper is going to do is going to replace my old one and maybe be a little bit better. From what I heard on the comments and stuff like that, the tension on the bumper is because of this little flimsy little plastic thing that they use to make sure it works. So what I did is I bought a new one, and hopefully it should replace the old one and bring it back to new. But I guess there's going to be a series of things that I have to do, and a lot of this is coming from YouTube, so I've seen other people do it, so just work with me. Tell you, take off all of the attachments of the Elite controller, make sure that works, go in the back, remove the battery and then the plate, and they say there's a screw underneath which you can take off. So I just need to get this little plastic thing off and then do that. And what else I did is I bought some additional tools from Amazon to get working on my controller. So there's like a kind of like an Allen wrench, but like a star type. It probably has a name, but I don't know what it is. But I just got the Xbox One. And there's these little tools to help you get things going. And then there's also a tool that came with my bumper. And then there's this new guard that you can put on the front. And I'm going to do that to make it all black. The only thing that will remain will be the silver triggers here. So I tried to get this repaired to the warranty. It didn't really work. So now I'm just going to do it myself. And it looks pretty easy. Doesn't look like it's a big deal. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll really jack up my controller and it won't be unusable. Or maybe I'll fix it and it becomes easy. I'm avoiding the warranty right now. Pulling this sticker off, as you can see here. So we get into the main part of it. If you look in the middle, you see there's a big bolt right there. Apparently you can use the star tool to get it. This is like a little bit bigger version of that, so I'm going to undo that right now. And hopefully the bolt is easy to get off, which it is. Woohoo! I'm doing this on the lucky Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading game card mat, which should be pretty easy. Oh, it's magnetic. Pretty sweet. Look at that. Cost $10 for the tools. I think it's kind of worth it. Put it in right here so it doesn't fall off. Just kind of make a mental note. So that's off, and then they say you gotta pull these off because they're glued onto it, but they kind of clip on, so they give you this little tool to kind of like pry it off. So let's try that right now. Let's see if we can pry this sucker off. Looks like it's not working. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. So it kind of comes off a little bit. It's a little difficult right now, so let me just try one more time, see if I can get underneath the seam to really get it going. Ooh, I don't want to do that. So pulling. Yeah, so it is glued on. It's pretty tough, but it pops off pretty kind of easy, not too easy. And apparently there's a screw here at the bottom, and then there's a screw here on the top. So I popped off the bumper. The glue is like, you know, still a little bit sticky, so it should stick back on pretty well. So I'm going to go through and then do the other side right now. And then hopefully I can get this off like easy peasy. If not, then it's going to be a bit of a problem. Maybe I'll just do my finger. Screw that little tool. Yeah, so I pulled the trigger in, put my fingers in, and then pried. Came off pretty easy, so we'll just separate those. And then there's a star tool that you can use to get off. They gave me this tool to see if all I need is this one. And apparently that's all you need is this tool right here. Because look like it's coming out pretty quick. So my suggestion is not to get the additional tool if you don't want to. But it's nice because they have like, you know, magnetics for it. But the tool that comes with the bumper, it's pretty sufficient. But since I paid $10 for this one, might as well use it. And then use a little cool magnetic feature for it. I guess they give you another tool too, which is a smaller size. And I'm pretty sure that's probably for like the PlayStation 4 controller. Or maybe like a Switch, I don't know. But the star Allen wrenches are coming in pretty slick, making it come off fairly easy. So, ooh, are they all the same size? Because I don't want to mix these up. No, they're pretty much the same size. So, looks like you can't really mess it up. So you go through, and then you take apart these bolts. Now this one's coming off. Looks like it's working. Magnetic. Pretty dope. I like that. Then I attach the last one. And then so from the YouTube videos, they just, they say it's pretty easy. All you do is take the plastic out of the back, pull the bolt out of that, pull the bolts out of these 4 ends, which I have done. And now what they say is the plate comes off, and which it does, and it looks like it holds the whole components together pretty easily. And so what they also say you should do is take off these little gaming pads, because they can fall off and you don't want to lose them. So I'm going to take that off there. There we go. And then they also say that there's a little plastic switch here in the middle that you should take off, and because that will fall out. And then you just put that to the side, and then you'll start the process of taking off this plate. And then from what I've heard, you have to kind of lift up from the front and then just pry. But what I've heard is that it's kind of tough to do, so you just kind of have to kind of like keep forcing yourself to like get it off. Oh, so I did, and it came off pretty quick. So it's not too difficult to get off. And then as I did so, the bumpers came off. And then let's take apart this bumper piece here that was connected to the piece. So it looks like, yeah, the little plastic thing that holds the bumper together broke, and that's why I lost the tension, which kind of sucks because, you spend $150 on this damn controller, and you don't expect it to break. You expect to have like high quality parts in there, gears and crap, but it doesn't. It's just a cheap plastic dongle that they put together on there that makes the tension work. And maybe it doesn't break for some people, but some people it breaks for others. Who knows, whatever the case may be. I probably a lot of Overwatch, so I use a lot of the abilities, and I've been pressing the bumpers quite a bit more so than other games. But I only had it for a year and probably a couple months before it broke, but now I have to replace it. And luckily for the replacement parts, it's not that expensive, and from what I can tell, the whole thing is not that hard to do, so that's pretty good. So if it breaks again, I can just replace it, but they should have springs, since you're paying a ton of money to have the Elite controller. Okay, so that's just the piece. That's just me kind of rambling. Now, I bought it with this cool black faceplate. I don't know if I should add that onto there because that looks kind of cool, or should I make the silver one back on it again? Now, that's a tough question that I have to think about. The black looks kind of dope because the controller will be all black, so it'll look like this. But I think I'm going to go back with the silver, and I'm going to go back with these black bumpers just because it looks pretty dope. So I'm going to leave this plastic thing on, and I'm going to try to fit this thing back inside and make sure that it works properly. So I'm going to go through, try to fit it in so that it fits perfectly, and then that I can get into the little holes that will hold it in place. So it looks like it got in pretty quick. So I pushed it in. Now it's in place, so I have my little black bumper, so I can fix that pretty quickly as opposed to this one. So they say what you gotta do is you gotta put it back on the same way you take it off. So I pried it off this way, so I guess I gotta put it in and then put it back on the top like that. So let's see if we can get this sucker in place and then get this finished. So I put it in, and then you go over the top, I guess, make sure it snaps in place. There it goes. Okay. Oh, so the bumper's in. It feels good. It feels legit. There it kind of looks right now. So then we just kind of just reverse the order of how we took it apart. So I took off the middle plate right here. So they tell you to put this back on. Put it back on the way it's supposed to be. I kind of don't remember how it is. I guess let's go with trial and error. So the middle piece is on right there. That's cool. Then I gotta put these little bumpers back on, make sure they fit. I don't think it's important which way they go, but I'll just snap them in Make sure they come on. Okay, seems like that works. Alright, so now the faceplate goes back on the top. So let's make sure everything's in. Looks like this is in. Ooh. Push this down. Let's see. Let's see if this is working pretty legit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we'll put the faceplate back on. It may look like this little thing right here is not really working, so I'll take this back off and I'll just pop it back off. Let's see how that works. Maybe fashion this in a little bit tighter. Get this going. And then let's pop this sucker back on. So we go in backwards as such, and then we just kind of lock it into place, I guess. So let's get that trigger down. Make sure that's getting locked into place. Getting that over the top. Popping that in. Making sure that gets down. So that looks pretty good. So let's put it here. That's good. Put the faceplate on. Pop this sucker down. Pull these little plasticky things off. So it looks like it's not really fitting on there properly, so I have to just kind of toy with it until I get it into the right place, I think. So let me see. Pop that off. Let's pop this out. So it looks like it requires a little bit more finessing to get in there. So let me try to like finesse it a little bit. So it looks like you have to kind of thread the little part of it in there first, which I didn't do. So essentially there's a little part right here that you have to finesse the thing in. I don't think I put that in properly. And so that's why it didn't really connect very well. So I think you have to take your time by finessing it through, threading it through, and then just snapping this top back part on. There it goes. Now it fits legit. It looks better, and it looks like it's in place. And it looks like it clicks a lot better. So there's a portion of there where there's like a little hole that you can push this part through on the controller. You put it through the part and it presses the button actually. So that part you have to put it through. I didn't know that, and I put it over the top, and it just wasn't really working. So I think now that when I put the faceplate on, it should look a lot better. Yeah, so it's more flush here. And then I just flip this over, and then you just redo the process of putting in the screws. And so what you probably want to do when you put the screws back in is not put them do one side and do the other. You kind of want to like stagger the screw pieces so that you can tighten it all together at one time. Just kind of like how you do with any type of electronic car or whatever. So let's get the screws back in there. Oh, That's no good. Screw came in. Ooh. The screw fell inside the controller. So I pull that out. Now that's probably why I spent the money on the magnetic controller, or magnetics thing, just in case that type of ish happens, that you can just grab it with that little tool. You probably don't want to stick it in too deep because there's probably electronic parts in there, and then you could short out any type of chip that is there. And so I probably may have shorted out my controller, but we'll see. I'll plug it in and I'll do a test afterwards, and then we should get a follow-up. Maybe I could just put it on the top like this and then stick it in. Yeah, that works better. Being a little bit smarter about how you do your things is probably the best way to do things, instead of being willy-nilly with it. So I'm going to do this backside here. Put in the screw as such. And it doesn't look like too hard of a process. I mean, I feel very comfortable doing it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, maybe you want to get somebody that's a little bit more comfortable with electronics to take it apart. But as you can see, it's like very easy. I didn't have too much trouble, but I'm quite handy than most people, so I've learned some stuff over the years on how to take apart things and put it back together. And then I have like kind of like a basic knowledge of like how computers and electronics work and wires and stuff like that. So I'm putting in my controller. I'm just screwed in kind of like not too tight. Now when it gets to the part where I need to screw it in really good, I'm gonna have to kind of like screw in one side like this, a little bit tighter. I'm probably gonna do hand tight, not really go too forceful on it, so it's just kind of like where you turn until like it doesn't turn anymore and don't put any more pressure on it. Because a lot of this stuff is plastic and it will break, because if you put too much tension on it, you can break the threads inside. So you just want to go to the part where like it stops turning, and then you just stop there. So it stopped there. So that's pretty much it. This is my new bumpers on there. Looks sort of sick. I might want to mod it out a little bit more later on, get new triggers, new bumpers, whatever. But I think it looks kind of dope because there's no too many controllers like that. I just wish it just had better pieces. So we're almost finished with the controller. So I guess we just snap on these bumpers, and since it just snaps in, it just snaps on like that. Pretty easy. That's pretty cool, and we'll just snap it on. Wow. So I got my controller fixed and ready to roll. I just got one more screw to be put in, and that's right in the middle, so I'll just do that right now. And then I will turn on the controller and then see if it works. That's the true test of all repairing controllers. So I have it all together, have the things on. So let's put on the attachments to make sure they work. So they're back on. Looks good. The buttons feel good. The little middle thing works right. That works. That looks good. Triggers feel good. The bumpers actually feel good. Really responsive. You can hear it. Alright. So I'll be showing you the results and then maybe some little bit of gameplay footage of me using the controller. And that is it so far. What up? I'm back again. So this is kind of like my review to see if my controller works. We'll do the test and we'll make sure if it's working or not. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so I fixed my controller in my last video. This is the continuation of that. So right now I'm going to be doing the part where I'm going to test it out. So I have my battery right here. I'm going to put it into the back of the controller. And then we're going to see if it turns on and it is ready to roll. Let's see if it works. So we'll put the battery in. Fits in nicely. Then we're going to get the battery cover to put on there like that. And then the test is to turn it on to see if it works. Light is coming on. Xbox is turning on. You can see over here in the little corner. Xbox coming on. The TV should turn on pretty soon. Let's see if that happens. Okay, Xbox is coming on. We'll just flip it this way. Put it up that way so you can see how everything is working out. So as the Xbox loads up, I repaired my Elite controller. The bumper on the left side was broken. I got a replacement part off Amazon for about $10, and then I just replaced it in a little over 18 minutes with an explanation. But if I just kind of focus on it, I probably would have got it fixed faster. And now we're turning the Xbox on to see if the controller works and see if everything is good to go. So right now, signing into Xbox Live. Everything looks good. Looks like we're ready to roll. Everything's on. Okay. Alright. Doing a test on the things. Everything looks to be working pretty legit. That looks good. We'll start. Oh, shoot. Let's just get out of here. Let's just start Overwatch up. As that boots up, I'll get my headset ready, which I got as my Turtle Beaches right here. I'm going to plug it in to make sure the audio works in this, and so we can see if everything is going great. The real test of getting your controller fixed is making sure that all the components work. Looks like everything's working so far. This is the controller I was using while my Elite was broken. It's the one that came with the game. I really don't like it. This feels a lot more premium. There's some grips on the back that feels good. You can put the paddles in, and everything was working well until the bumpers broke, which kind of sucks. I mean, I like the grips on the back. Like I said, I put the paddles in and all those types of things. So Overwatch is on. I'm going to plug my headphones in to see if I can hear Winston talk. So we're just waiting. Okay, so the controller is getting the audio feed from inside. So let me put it on the speaker so you can hear what Winston's saying. So I hope you can hear that on the mic. It's kind of quiet. I like to play it quiet. So now I am starting Overwatch. I'm pressing A. And now we are getting into the game. Let's see if there's anybody else on my bros list. Just people playing Destiny. What I got right there. Look at that. Destiny. Alright. I do a lot of highlight clips and stuff like that. I enjoy it. So, ooh, got a loot box. Dang. So we'll just do a little training session. Did they put it in here? Oh no, training is its own option on the front menu. I just play, and then I don't really worry about training. But let's do the practice range. So as we enter into the practice range to test the bumper out, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, and 1 being super easy on how to repair the bumper for the Xbox Elite controller, I say it ranks around probably about 3. Only thing that makes it really difficult is making sure you manage all the little steps that I showed you in the previous video. Let's try Soldier 76. This is what I've been using a lot lately to grind in the competitive match. So I'm pressing the bumper and it's running. Looks pretty good. The other bumper is running on the right side. So put some rounds into them. Alright. Run again. Look at this. Woo, it's running. Run. Run. Ooh. Look at that. Oh, my Xbox Elite is back. Bumpers are working great. Everything seems to be going. To not, like, you know, show you it, I'll put it right here and play with it in my hand so you know that I'm not messing around. So I'm going to run. Running with it. Look at that. Cool. Running. Jump. Running. See, I'm pressing the bumpers to get that going. Alright, so that is the end of my video. I'm going to jump into competitive with my newly fixed Elite controller with these sweet bumpers on there. Check it out. It's black. Not many people have black bumpers like me, so whatevs. Peace out.